Cooperatives have played an essential role in Canadian agriculture for over 100 years and are engaged in all sectors of the country's economy. Within agricultural alone, there are over 1,200 agricultural co-ops in Canada with 476,000 members involved in a broad range of businesses from farm supplies to the processing and marketing of agricultural products. Co-ops are collectively owned by their members who use the products and services the co-op provides. They help reduce farm input costs and increase farm incomes while keeping profits and control in local communities. The Comax Cooperative in Saint-Nazaire, Quebec, has over 800 members and $150 million in annual revenues from grain milling, pig farming, and equipment parts and supplies.
Ici au Québec, on a vu dans toute l'histoire des coopératives, souvent, il n'y avait que le mouvement coopératif qui maintenait un service d'approvisionnement en machines agricoles dans des régions éloignées, en pièces de machinerie aussi. Les grandes entreprises privées se concentraient autour des grands centres, ce qui faisait en sorte que les agriculteurs qui sont en régions éloignées avaient des distances énormes à parcourir pour s'approvisionner, alors que les coopératives, elles, faisaient un effort supplémentaire pour les approvisionner de façon plus correcte.
It's meant to be a part of the infrastructure in the community, part of what helps a community and a rural area survive. Just like you need roads and you need water, you need to have business structures that are there in that community so that they can then own the things that are going to help them meet some of their needs.
En réalité, la coopérative est un outil de travail que la communauté se donne. Ma façon de voir ça, la communauté, quels sont ses besoins, puis la coopérative, dans la mesure du possible, se doit d'y répondre et de faire un retour sur ce que la communauté a de besoin.
In their earliest days, cooperatives were often forged from adversity. Producers and their communities joined together to take action for greater control over market forces adversely affecting their livelihoods. Today, there is renewed interest in cooperatives. Global forces are making it increasingly difficult for small and independent producers to compete against cheap food imports and more concentrated ownership of agriculture by multinational companies. As farmers leave the land, our food security is threatened and rural communities are depopulated as other local businesses decline and young people leave to find work elsewhere.
As agriculture has been changing from, small farms to large farms, as farmers are retiring and leaving the farm, they're not being bought by new farmers, they're being absorbed by their neighbors who are growing, which reduces the number of people in the area and starts putting strains on whether or not we can maintain our health care, and other infrastructure, schools, things like that.
Today, many producers and their communities are using the cooperative approach to create machinery co-ops to share equipment, farm worker co-ops to address labor shortages, and to explore new market opportunities for local food, biofuels, and other renewable energies.
Le mouvement coopératif soutient en grande partie la ruralité canadienne. Et il y a là encore un autre avantage très important pour les agriculteurs qui sont en coopérative agricole, puisqu'ils participent à assurer le développement économique de leur communauté tout en maintenant un tissu social, rural, régional, le plus dynamique possible. Ce n'est pas tout le temps facile, mais bien souvent, on est la dernière épicerie du village, on est la dernière station-service du village, on est la dernière quincaillerie du village et la dernière école, le dernier soin de santé. Alors, c'est les gens qui se sont organisés entre eux, et je pense que ça développe le sentiment d'appartenance comme nulle part ailleurs. Et les agriculteurs et les citoyens sont très fiers. Et je pense qu'on peut aller encore plus loin avec les priorités que j'ai mentionnées tantôt. Environnement, santé, énergie.
In southwestern Ontario, tobacco was once the main crop. Many small communities in the area have struggled as the industry declined. But a farmer cooperative is generating jobs and investment in this area. The 850 members of the Integrated Grain Processors Cooperative are building an ethanol plant. that will produce 150 million liters of ethanol annually from corn produced by local farmer members. The $150 million project is the largest startup co-op in Canadian history.
What the farmers were looking to do was to add value to their corn, but they'd also be able to get a second chance. Once they produced the ethanol, they could get the profits from the ethanol plant. In terms of the broader rural community, the plant's going to create 35 jobs. It's not a huge number of jobs, but at the same time, 35 very well-paying jobs in a rural community like Aylmer means a lot.
Another nearby cooperative is planning to create energy from alternative crops that will grow in the sandy soils that once grew only tobacco.
We're adding value from millet. What can we do with millet and make money with it? If you produced it and tried to sell it, there's not a lot of markets for it. But if you can add value to it and turn it into a gas to run a generator system, and that now you're producing hydroelectricity out of the ground, renewable, and not competing with traditional food sources that are out there.
Across Canada, cooperatives are meeting the need for alternative energies such as biodiesel and ethanol through a wide range of initiatives using grains, oilseeds, and biomass from straw and wood and animal waste, products that can be converted to fuels and energy used locally by farmers and their communities. Consumer preferences for locally grown food, especially organically grown produce, are also creating new opportunities for other farmers to use a cooperative approach.
The food distribution system doesn't respond to local needs anymore. Why is it that when I go to the store, what I have access to is food that's grown in California? And I think what the co-op model has the potential to do is bring people back into ownership of agriculture. The amount of energy that has arisen in those communities as a result of that activity and the amount of energy that's focused on those cooperatives, it's just amazing to see. And when people see an opportunity to change that, it's very gratifying for them.
Je pense présentement le contexte, on vit un contexte de renaissance de la coopération au Canada, sans aucun doute. De plus en plus, on voit des groupes, de petits groupes de personnes qui décident de se rassembler puis qui veulent créer des coopératives dans toutes sortes de secteurs, des coopératives plus traditionnelles, des coopératives de producteurs, par exemple, jusqu'aux nouvelles coopératives sociales, où on voit des communautés de gens qui se ramassent tout ensemble pour se donner des services que l'État ne peut plus leur offrir, que ce soit d'avoir une clinique de santé ou des services aux personnes âgées. Et on voit ça d'un bout à l'autre du pays. Il y a une grande, grande renaissance du secteur coopératif. C'est comme si ça redevenait à la mode, mais je dirais plutôt que les gens retournent aux sources puis redécouvrent une valeur sûre.
Today we see that there's an opportunity where there's some segments of industry that have not been developed. It's a very unique opportunity. And farmers, producers would like to be a part of that, and they realize that there's a need for them to work together and have farmer ownership. And of course, cooperatives are probably the best way that I think there is for farmers to work together.